2 people are dead after a plane goes down in Chatham County. We're live near the crash site. What we know about the plane and the crash.
Plus, hundreds of people treated for heat-related illnesses here at the U.S. Open. We're live with complete coverage of round 2 at Pinehurst.
This cold front is set to impact our scorching temperatures. I'm tracking temperatures here and at the beach all weekend long.
Day 2 of the men's U.S. Open wrapped up in Pinehurst in the last few minutes, and there were some big moments today. Thousands of people back out on the course. Temperature was brutal, with fans passing out. Hundreds were treated for heat-related illnesses today. We'll have live coverage from the U.S. Open in just a moment. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. First, we want to get to some breaking news. 2 people are dead after a plane crash in Chatham County. Taking a look at the scene near the Siler City Airport, here is where this happened. The wreckage is just awful. Our drone captured video of the crash scene from up above. Right now, investigators are combing through the wreckage. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is at the Siler City Airport. Sean, walk us through the area there.
Yeah, Ashley, it's pretty remote around here, and this airport, pretty small. You can see here behind me, there's about a dozen airplanes that are housed here, a lot of them very similar to the one that went down today. Now, that crash happened over this way, just beyond the runway and then beyond the trees there, a very thick area of trees. But this is what it looked like from up above. One of our photojournalists shot this drone view of the scene. All of this happening around 1 o'clock this afternoon when the plane crashed in this wooded area near the airport. State Highway Patrol confirming 2 people were killed in this crash. You can see just how thick this part of the woods is where this crash happened in Siler City, making it very difficult for first responders to get back to that crash site. Take a listen to the Broadcastify radio traffic during the recovery efforts.
I do have a confirmation, eyes on the plane, fully involved. I'll try to get a tail number as quick as I can. You're going to have to come in here where this field where I am. I don't know whether you guys can get in or not. It is probably about 150 yards off of this field. You have a active fire.
Now, our team has seen the U.S. government vehicles out here this evening for the investigation. State Highway Patrol telling us that the NTSB and FAA are investigating, and they have a secure perimeter around that crash scene right now, which they tell us is all standard procedure for investigations like this. In Siler City, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Thanks so much, Sean. I'm Lena Tillett in the WRAL Live Center, finding out new information about where this flight may have originated from, as well as this type of aircraft. First of all, let's talk about this tweet from the Raleigh Executive Jetport. This is actually located in Sanford. They tweeted that they're aware of an aircraft accident that happened today near the Siler City Airport that may involve a pilot and or passenger working out of Raleigh Executive. While the accident didn't happen there, they're saying they're going to help the FAA in any way possible. We don't yet have information about the 2 people who were killed. Let's talk about the particular aircraft now confirmed by the FAA and NTSB that was involved here. This is a Piper Cherokee. Here's an image of it. The FAA confirming that this was a Piper PA-28 involved. Minutes after we got confirmation about this plane crash, I talked to a local flight instructor and pilot with more than 40 years of experience about this particular aircraft and when it may be used. He said it's typically used during training and for beginners. Brendan Shower saying that this is a 4-passenger aircraft and it's typically safe. Take a listen.
Mostly, you'll see this as a trainer, this particular type of aircraft. Some people will own it as well. A lot of people will train in that type of aircraft and like it, and then decide that they want to own one for themselves.
Now, Shower emphasized it is far too early to know the cause here, but he said typically in these types of crashes, it's because of human error. Back to you.
All right, Lena, 3 people are displaced after a duplex caught fire in Raleigh this afternoon. A neighbor actually gave us their doorbell ring video. This shows the flames. It happened on Pumpkin Ridge Way in the Headingham community. The WRAL breaking news tracker was at the scene where dozens of firefighters helped put out hot spots. No one was hurt. The building badly damaged, as you can see. Investigators say the fire started outside in pine straw by discarded smoking materials.
This is a live look at the Pinehurst Resort. People still milling about after the competition ended today. This is the 4th time Pinehurst has hosted this golf tournament. It's the hottest day they've ever had. Several fans passed out from the extreme heat. We have live team coverage of the punishing temperatures and all the action on the golf course. We're going to begin with meteorologist Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. So, Kat, when will we see some relief from this heat?
Well, we get a tiny dip in temperatures and humidity for the weekend, Gerald, from this front that's going to be dropping in from the north. The change in wind direction, it's a good one. A little less hot, a little less humid. We had 92 there in Pinehurst today. The previous record for the U.S. Open at Pinehurst was 90 degrees, and that was back in 2014. 94 was our high at RDU, making it the hottest day of the year so far. Tomorrow will be right around 90 in Raleigh, 88 for Durham, 93 Fayetteville, 91 in Pinehurst, and 88 in Rocky Mount. And Father's Day is Sunday. Temperatures right around 90 in Durham and Raleigh, 91 in Pinehurst, and 86 degrees in Roxborough. We've got this stretch of summer-like heat on the way, but I'll have a closer hour-by-hour look at what to expect on Father's Day, which will be one of our better feeling days coming up.
All right, Kat, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Look at this shot behind us. This is Pinehurst. The sun is setting after day 2, round 2. We talked about emergency officials at the U.S. Open saying that they have likely treated close to 1,000 people for heat-related illnesses in just 2 days. Some fans passing out from the intense heat.
And WR's Brett Neese is live at Pinehurst. Brett, we know there are many ways to keep safe, to keep cool out there at the golf course. What are officials doing to make sure that spectators are keeping cool?
Yeah, Gerald, the USGA has activated their heat protocols. That means that they have signage throughout the course that is reminding fans to drink plenty of water and stay hydrated. They've also added a number of different EMS worker teams that are out there on the golf carts throughout the course. They've added more of those teams so that they can better respond and they can respond faster when any of these emergencies happen. And every now and then there is a cloud that provides some relief. Some shade also provides some relief. But really, these fans are all feeling the heat. It's a slow march through the towering pines at number 2 for anyone looking to find Tiger Woods.
It is insane. It wasn't bad until Tiger showed up. Then everywhere, everybody was following Tiger, including me.
The 3-time U.S. Open champion attracts the biggest crowds. At times, it feels like all 45,000 patrons at the course are watching him.
It's crazy. You can definitely tell when he tees off.
Did you get a glimpse of him?
Oh, yeah. It's a small glimpse.
Crowds like these are not easy to navigate, especially in 90-degree temperatures.
We saw somebody faint.
What was that like?
We didn't want to be like them, so we just kept moving. Pretty young guy, actually.
The medical tents have been busy this week with hundreds seeking relief from dehydration and overheating. That's why the USGA has hydration stations scattered throughout the course.
It is tough to deal with, but the leaves of pine trees are giving us some shade, so we're kind of in and out of that space, which is nice, and taking breaks from the sun as best as possible.
The heat also taking its toll on the golf course.
Some of the hole locations were definitely a little tougher. Sort of had to have your wits about you. I putted it off one green there on 17.
The greens are firming up, making the toughest test in golf even harder. The heat testing the fans as well. Some take a break from it at the base of those tall pine trees. Others find sweet relief from a fan they brought with them. But no one is safe from the harsh rays of the sun. And so some of the doctors that are inside those medical tents tell me that they expect it to become even busier over the next couple of days because these high temperatures are here to stay over the next 2 rounds. I want to bring in WRAL's Casey Hintz. She is following all of the action today. Tiger Woods just finished up within the last 30 minutes or so. Casey, looks like he unfortunately will not make the cut.
Yeah, Brett, when you mentioned those temperatures, we knew that was going to play a role in the conditions here in this course, and we're talking about some low scores here. How about 5 over being the cut line here, and sneaking in with that is, the world #1 ranked golfer, Scottie Scheffler. He was kind of teetering on that line, but he's going to sneak his way in. But as you mentioned, Tiger Woods not able to do that. He was flirting his way on that line, but he would finish at 7 over. He would par 18, fighting to the very end, but he just couldn't finish. Let's take a look at the rest of that leaderboard. I want to talk about 24-year-old Swede Ludvig Åberg. Boy, he is looking to become the first rookie in over 100 years to win the U.S. Open in his debut. He is currently tied with Matthew Povan as they are at 5 under. Right now, Patrick Cantlay, Bryson DeChambeau, Tony Finau among those tied in third at 4 under. Rory McIlroy just 2 shots off the lead at 7th. And we've got a handful of ties for 9th, including Wake Forest's own Akshay Bhatia at 1 under. Now, as I mentioned there, Bryson DeChambeau, he played in the early rounds, and the conditions maybe weren't quite as bad then as they were this afternoon, but he said the course was already firm, and that's a sign they want this thing rolling tomorrow and Sunday. DeChambeau, who currently sits 3rd, he says he feels confident in his game after 2 rounds, and he's excited for the test and challenge, especially with the conditions being as hot as they are. And he said if the wind picks up, it's going to be diabolical.
My focus is on the next shot at hand. I'm not really focused on the total strokes gained for the most part, just trying to execute the best shot I can every single time under the conditions, because it's going to get different. This golf course is not going to be the same come tomorrow and the next day, and I'm expecting that. And us competitors, players have to adjust to those conditions accordingly. And, look, I'm excited for the game that I have right now. I feel pretty confident and ready to get after it this weekend.
Now, Scottie Scheffler, as I mentioned, is going to sneak into the weekend tournament. He was going on a 38 straight cuts, 7 straight wins. Of course, we know that he has won 5 of his last 8, so he had to sweat it out a little bit, but he will be a part of this weekend's tournament. Casey Ince, WRAL Sports, Pinehurst.
It's an interesting leaderboard. Okay, WRAL, your home for the U.S. Open. Be sure to tune in to WRAL for all the action from the first tee to the 18th green. Network coverage picks back up right here tomorrow at noon for round 3. And our local team coverage also continues into the weekend. You can get all of your content on your phone, tablet, and TV.
In the last few hours, Governor Roy Cooper vetoed a bill to roll back the Raise the Age law. The bill would allow 16 and 17-year-olds to be tried in adult court for violent felonies. Now, keep in mind, Republicans have a slim veto-proof majority in the legislature. In a statement, the governor said that's an appropriate move. However, he's concerned the law would keep some children from getting treatment that they need while making communities less safe. Instead, he calls on lawmakers to invest significantly more in our juvenile justice system to ensure resources are available to help prevent crimes and appropriately deal with children who break the law. The House plans to unveil its spending plan next week, but that doesn't mean that they're close to reaching a budget deal. The House and Senate are at an impasse over how to spend a budget surplus of nearly $1 billion and whether to spend even more than that. House Speaker Tim Moore wants to use some of the money from the savings to give teachers and state employees a larger raise in July. But Senate Leader Phil Berger says the Senate doesn't support dipping into the cash reserves. Moore said the House will move forward with its spending plan anyway. The fiscal year ends June 30th.
Still ahead, parents want to hear this. A new trend could be putting your child in danger.
Stop scrolling. Some social media stars are claiming sunscreen increases your risk of cancer. The warning from a local dermatologist to patients of all ages.
Parents, we have a social media warning from doctors you should hear.
WRAL health reporter Grace Haba debunks the dangerous sunscreen claims that could be putting your child at risk of getting cancer.
When you go to buy your next tube or can of sunscreen, there are 2 main types for you to choose from: chemical and mineral. A local dermatologist tells me the best, simply put, is the one you wear.
The recommendation comes as a harmful anti-sunscreen movement spreads on social media.
I don't wear sunscreen. I'm with her.
I'm with her too.
I'm 110% with her.
Influencers and some celebrities telling followers sunscreen increases cancer risk. Doctors say that idea is not only wrong, but highly dangerous, especially for younger kids to hear.
I'm on TikTok and I do see these trends and I'm like, oh, please, not another generation that's going to do this.
Dermatologist Beth Goldstein says she typically does 50 skin cancer surgeries a week where she works in Chapel Hill on patients of all ages.
The first thing a lot of times we'll see is the brown spots and then the fine lines that come from sun damage. A lot of people think that's aging. That's actually sun damage. Freckles, all of that is your body's response to the damage
from the sun's rays. The Skin Cancer Foundation recommends SPF 30 products. When used correctly, they can reduce the risk of the two most common skin cancers by up to 50%.
Doctors recommend everyone wear sunscreen year-round, regardless of your skin tone. They also say it's important to remember that you can still develop skin cancer even if you don't have a sunburn. Grace Haba, WRAL News.
Skin cancer, the most common type of cancer in the world. The Skin Cancer Foundation estimates 1 in 5 Americans will develop it by the age of 70. So yes, let's wear our sunscreen, especially this weekend.
That's right. If you're going to the beach or wherever you're going, Kat, it's going to be hot. And regardless of the heat, though, the sun shines. So people need to think about this very carefully.
Absolutely. I mean, it's surprising just how quickly you can get sunburned. When the UV index goes 9 or higher, that can be 15 minutes or less. So make sure you've got your sunscreen on. I wear mine every day, but especially during the summer months. When I'm out on the WRAL weather patio, I've got a thing of sunscreen in my purse. You really need it. The heat index still 93 in the Triangle. The actual air temperature is 91. In Southern Pines and around the Pinehurst area, it's about 90 still. Heat index of 91. The heat index still 97 in Rocky Mount, and 95 is what it feels like in Clinton. So let's take a look outside on satellite and radar. We've got this big cluster of clouds offshore, never organized into a tropical system. We also have this front that's going to be headed our way tonight. It doesn't bring much with it. It's not going to bring enough moisture for any notable rain for us, but there will be a wind direction shift behind it. So that north wind tomorrow brings in slightly less hot air and slightly less humid. We had 94 today. We'll be at 90 tomorrow, and with a little lower humidity, it'll feel pretty good out there this weekend, at least for June. And Sunday is hot, but it's a nice Father's Day, partly cloudy and dry for any plans you may have with Dad that are outdoors on Sunday. 8 a.m. it'll be around the upper 60s as we head toward noon, 84 degrees during the afternoon, topping out around 90. And then even toward dinner time, it's still likely to be in the mid 80s for Sunday evening. If you're traveling across the state, maybe headed to the beach with Dad, high temperatures should be around the mid 80s for Wilmington and Morehead City Sunday, 90 in Raleigh, 92 Fayetteville, 88 Rocky Mount, 86 in Nashville, and it's the southern mountains where we have the best chance of a storm popping up, though we can't rule one out even in the northern mountains. And then in South Carolina, we could see a slightly better chance for rain. Your WRAL Weather Watcher photo today, sticking with the theme of golf. This is the Duke Golf Course. You can see the moon right there. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you to Jim Maloney for sharing the shot with us. If you have a WRAL Weather Watcher picture you'd like to share, go to WRAL.com and search Weather Watchers so we can share some of those on TV with us in the coming days. 91 degrees right now in Durham, Raleigh, and Fayetteville. It is warm out there. The Durham Bulls looks like it's quite packed there at the DBAP. Temperatures tonight only dip into the upper 60s to lower 70s. 90 degrees both tomorrow and Sunday. As we get into next week, we're up to 93 by Tuesday, 91 for Juneteenth on Wednesday, and then right back up to 94 degrees a week from today. Today's 94 was the hottest so far of this season.
Boy, the dog days of summer are here. Thank you, Kat.
Tar Heels fans are holding their breath, bottom of the ninth.
Dramatic. Bottom of the ninth, 2-2 the score in the first game of the Men's College World Series. Vance Honeycutt steps up to the plate for UNC. Can he do it again? Another walk-off or bitter defeat? You don't want to miss the stupendous Game 1 next in sports. The Men's College World Series starts today in Omaha, and if there's one thing number 4 UNC has shown this postseason is they love to keep you on the edge of your seat. Freshman Jason Tuccaro gets the start, bases loaded, top of the first. Head coach Scott Forbes called this strikeout the biggest moment of the game. He had 6 Ks in 4 innings. Still in the first, UNC is going to strike quickly. Anthony D'Onofrio with the grounder. He's going to be out at first, but brings Casey Cook home. Heels lead 1-0. 2-1 UVA lead in the bottom of the 7th. Cook at the plate this time. He finds the hole. Alex Madera scores, and that's a bit of a weird throw. Don't know what happened there. Tied at 2 now. Bottom of the 9th, runner on 3rd, 2 outs, and all-world Vance Honeycutt with a chance to win it again. You can't write the script, folks. They'd say, get a new angle, keeps it low, rips it to left field. Jackson Vanderbrink scores. North Carolina wins Game 1 of the College World Series, 3-2 the final. Its 4th walk-off win of the postseason.
But the funniest part of the day was at the end of the game when Parks Harbor was talking to me and Coach Wiersbicki, and he's like, I mean, how do you make it through the game? Like, I don't even know if I'm going to live to be 50. I think my heart's going to just fail. So, I can relate to what Parks Harbor feels like. I can tell you that.
You gotta love sports. They will slowly kill you. NC State will play Kentucky at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Let's return to the hot sandhills of Pinehurst number 2, where WRAL's Chris Lee has the latest on the leaders and locals from the U.S. Open.
Things are shaping up on a leaderboard here at the U.S. Open as we're heading into moving day. Now, for the players who are making a cut, relaxation will be the key before tomorrow's tee time. Just ask Bryson DeChambeau.
I probably am going to sit my butt on the couch and watch Havoc on TV.
Bryson DeChambeau shot a 1 under 69 today and heads into round 3 at 4 under for the tournament.
This golf course is not going to be the same come tomorrow and the next day, and I'm expecting that. And us competitors, players have to adjust to those conditions accordingly.
The power hitter is inspired by Payne Stewart, who won this tournament at this course 25 years ago. DeChambeau wants to follow in his footsteps.
So he's meant a lot to me in the game.
As DeChambeau prepares for the weekend, Raleigh's Chesson Hadley is coming home early. He's expected to miss the cut after finishing at 8 over the last 2 days. But he's in awe of playing this championship at this course.
I had a bunch of friends and family out here supporting me, and it was a really cool week. I wish I'd played a little bit better, but it was still a pinch me moment.
Chris Lee, WRAL Sports, Pinehurst.
Here's a look at the leaderboard. Let's go ahead and check it out. You've got at number 1, Ludwig Auberg, -5. He is now solely at number 1. Then you've got a tie with a few there at -4. A lot more coming up here in just a bit.
All right. Thanks, Lewis. And thank you for making WRAL your choice for local news.
Our next newscast is at 10 on Fox 50 and 11 on WRAL. Have a great night and a wonderful